Welcome to the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, where we take a look at some of the awesome news and reveals of this week. First up on the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up. Well, first off, San Diego Comic-Con was this last week, since the last Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, and I had a lot of fun attending it. I got to cover all kinds of things, talk to all kinds of different people. So first up, we're going to cover Transformers. First off, the only thing that went up for pre-order during this Comic-Con was the Hot Wheels collabs of Twin Meal and Bone Shaker. The rest of everything we're going to be talking about is not available until later on this year. We have a look at a Transformers Armada Nemesis Prime with Starsaber. That will be a fall exclusive. And on that note, we're going to be talking about a lot of fall exclusives when it comes to Hasbro. That's not the Hasbro PulseCon. Apparently they're not doing that this year. They should still be doing 10/27. I didn't ask about that, but I asked about PulseCon if that's where you're going to get them, and they said no. This will be more at like New York Comic Con and London Toy Fair or whatever they have over across seas. They do a fall one, but it will be available on Pulse. So I'm going to see these as PulseCon exclusives for the fall. And this is the Nemesis Prime with Starsaber that will be using the Armada Prime body. We also got to look at the next waves of Studio Series and the next waves of Age of the Primes. Now, they pre-ordered everything out from this year, so these pre-orders I don't think will go up till later on next year, like at the early part of next year. They might go for pre-order in the fall, but we don't know at this point. We got Sure Shot, we got Blast Off, we got I've got to try to remember the character from Beast Wars, but he's got like the snake tail and the scorpion body, really cool looking. We got animated Rekgar. We got a Junkion Jalopy, which looks really cool. We got just all kinds of cool figures from Age of the Primes. We also got two other Primes added in, Quintus Prime and I think it's Amogulus Prime. Which is really cool. I might buy more than one of those because you can weapon change and everything, you know, put other accessories and stuff. It's really cool. And then we also got Studio Series stuff like the Wind Charger they showed off, which is really amazing, the engineering behind it. Evan talked about how they managed to make it where in transformation in the cartoon he's got red and then it transforms into blue or blue to red, and they figured out how to do it with, you know, the sorcery. They even had enough in the budget to make his face go up and down and have some expressive movement. And of course he's going to come with a magnetic blast effect, which we don't see a lot in the deluxe price point, which is really cool, and then a little blaster. Really cool looking figure. We also got to look at the Transformers 1 Alpha Trion and Arachnid, and their colors and stuff like that. We also got to see last night Barricade, which I'm very excited about. Looks incredible. We did get to see a Transformers Studio Series, I think it was Voyager Thundercracker, and this is a completely new mold. A lot of people were speculating that it was just a repage of the Earthrise one. No, this is a completely new mold that is amazing. Even has a movable cockpit and a landing gear, and it's got, you know, torso movement, hip movement, so that's awesome. They didn't have a colored sample, they just had the red sample here, and I joked around that I was like, oh look, it's the Target exclusive Red Alert, or not Red Alert, Red Wing all over again, but that will be blue. And of course they said there will be a Sky Warp and a Starscream later on with this mold, and we'll see what else we can kind of get out of it, so I thought that was cool they covered that. And then the big reveal from Age of the Primes and Studio Series, Age of the Primes, was they are giving us Big Convoy. He looks incredible. Has all kinds of cool accessories. His tusks can come out and become, you know, weapons and stuff like that. He's got, you know, the cannon. Looks incredible. We've been asking for it for a while, and it's finally here. And then on the Studio Series side of things, there was rumors of a Titan class coming out, and they have officially revealed it. It is Titan class Age of Extinction Grimlock. It is big enough to put your Age of Extinction Prime / Last Night Prime on. They showed off Nemesis Prime, which was a retool, recolor of the Age of Extinction / Last Night Optimus, so he could go on the back of the Grimlock. And they did confirm we're not stopping with Grimlock. We're going to do all 4 of the major Dinobots that were seen in the movie, that each of our characters ride on in the movie and stuff like that. So we're going to finish it by, you know, 2026, 2027. They gave us a breakdown of when each one will be coming out, so there will be a lot of these. I didn't get a chance to ask the price point, but I'm assuming it will be, you know, the 170 but it could also be the 200. It was big. At first when I saw it at the panel, because I got to attend the panel, and it was awesome being there and getting the experience of all the other fans in the room getting excited, which we'll talk more about that in a moment. But when I got to the booth and kind of saw it in person, it is big. It's incredible. While I was at the panel, they also talked about a new program they're doing for this year called Activate Your Alt Mode. It's going to be a fan voting Transformers event. There's a breakdown here on the little slide that I have in the corner where it shows, transform your alt mode with Soundwave, and then they had Frank Welker talk about it. And then in the second frame, you'll see that there is like the breakdown of, we're going to pick a character, we're going to pick an alt mode, we're going to pick one other thing. There's like each week in August, I think they're going to do something, and then by September they'll reveal what it is, and it's going to be awesome. Mark kept kind of like, and Evan kept kind of hinting things and talking about things that were kind of like, there's some pretty cool things that are in this mix of things you could choose from. Like there's a plane, jet thing, a car / land vehicle, a sea vehicle, and then a fourth random thing. So it's really cool. They've already been teasing things on Instagram for it. But yeah, there's just been a lot of Transformers stuff revealed there, but nothing really for pre-order yet, except for the Hot Wheels ones. And they did say they were going to be continuing the Hot Wheels stuff after these two. They did have other crossover things shown at their booth, like the Lego Soundwave and the NFL helmets and the Sonic and Naruto crossovers. So that was really cool. But yeah, just lots of amazing Transformers stuff to talk about. They had the HasLab Leo Kaiser paint sample on display too, which looks incredible here, and just all kinds of cool stuff. I'm sure I missed a couple of things here because there's just so much. And over at G.I. Joe news, we got a couple of new reveals, things we knew were coming thanks to the fan channels and pages and social medias that shared it. We got our sci-fi, our mainframe, our wetsuit, our Grim Viper, and then we got the Steel Core Outpost. So all those went up for pre-order. Oh, and the Sand Viper and Scorpion, or the Sand Scorpion set. All those went up for pre-order this week during Comic-Con. But we also got a bunch of brand new reveals, including the fall convention exclusive of the was it the Pythina? I think it's Pythania. I can never say her name right. From the Cobra Lee stuff, so now you can kind of build up that. Hopefully we'll get our Cobra Lee guards soon. And then, they might have shown that off actually, I don't know, during the digital renders and new reveals. I know there were quite a few name drops and some show-offs for the retro collection and the main line. Or no, maybe it was just the main line, but there was a lot of G.I. Joe news. On top of that, we got a look I saw during the beginning of the week when they did the Walmart drop, that in the background of Quick Kick and Beachhead, there was another Cobra villain, and I believe it is that of the, I don't know what they called it. They called it like the Phantom Viper or the Spectro Viper. It's some kind of ghost, cosmic viper kind of thing, paranormal kind of thing to go with, crystal ball. So they'll be at that green plastic, and there's a spectral wolf and serpents stakes, so that's really cool. And then we got a look at a 2-pack that will be coming out of 2 Joes in the green suits, which is really awesome. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but the image is here. But just so much G.I. Joe stuff. Not as much as Marvel. I mean, it was kind of about the same. I feel like everyone brought quite a bit of stuff. But yeah, no, the G.I. Joe side of things, they had quite a few, things to show off. I'm trying to think what the other thing was. Oh, they had the Snowcat on display, which looked really cool with all the other snow-based things. They put the power armor, the snake power armor in there with some bats around it, and the polar bear, and then Snake Eyes from that polar bear set, and, some Joe characters kind of fighting in the Arctic, which looked really cool. That world building, which G.I. Joe thrives on. And then I'm pulling a blank on, they showed us the Sergeant Slaughter 2-pack that went up for pre-order a while back with the Viper Gone, the Viper Gone good guy, I forget his name. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. I'm looking forward to all of it. I'm hoping we'll see more later on this fall. And in Marvel toy news from Comic-Con, we got to take a look at the booth and take photos and talk with Dwight, Dan, and Mr. Steve about Marvel stuff. And we got to look at the crowdfunded / made to order Mephisto. It is not going to be, a HasLab. It's not going to be, hard to get. It's got a pre-order window from one day to the other if you get it. It's just like Dragon Man and the Sentinel, which they both were there. They looked incredible on display. We also got a look at the X-Men 97 stuff and the Mephisto. Both of those things were available for pre-order during the week, so you could get the Mephisto and you could get the X-Men 97 wave, which comes with Cable, Wolverine / Logan, Emma Frost, Jubilee, Sunspot, and Morph. We also got to look at 3 2-packs from the X-Men 97 that will be coming out later on this year, with Wolverine and Storm in one, and Gambit and Rogue in another, and Jean and her Miss Marvel with, or not Miss Marvel, or maybe it's Miss Marvel, and then Cyclops. Just all kinds of cool stuff, but the big hitters for me were the Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Doom and the Magic the Gathering sets, specifically the Damaged Spider-Man. That looked incredible. So I'm very excited for a lot of these offerings. And in Star Wars news from Comic-Con, I got the opportunity to talk with the different team members about the product and take some awesome photos to share here. First up, there wasn't a lot of vintage collection. We had 3 offerings: Han Solo, Chewbacca, and a Shock Trooper that went up for pre-order during the event. Then we got a look at a fall convention exclusive, I want to say the Ghosts of Revenge of the Return of the Jedi, where it's Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda, and the Anakin actually has interchangeable heads, but it's like the neck piece, which is really cool. This is new, at least new to me when it comes to that technology. But we got a ton of Black Series stuff. A lot of villains went up for pre-order. We got Asajj Ventress in her Bounty Hunter outfit. We got the Stranger from Acolyte, which was really cool. We got Jango Fett from Attack of the Clones. And then we got a 2-pack that I was a little disappointed in. It is the Star Wars Ahsoka series 2-pack with Anakin, which we already got in single pack. I couldn't see anything different about it. And then Captain Rex on the old body. So that one that was going to be sold individually as a reissue, but then everyone's got canceled. They decided to throw it in with this 2-pack. And it's not even the newer body, so I'm a little kind of, disappointed by that. Just means I didn't have to buy it, but for anyone who didn't get a Captain Rex, this is your chance to get it. I have a feeling, though, they're going to put that Captain, they're going to make a Phase 2 Captain Rex on a new body sooner or later. But yeah, besides that, we also got, like the exclusive this year of the Mustafar set, they're doing something like that with Empire Strikes Back with a Luke and Vader fight scene on the piece of Cloud City. So they're world building now with Black Series with props and stuff like that. So I like seeing that. I'm curious to see where that goes. Let me see, what else was there? Oh, there was a Black Series 2-pack of Chancellor Palpatine / Emperor Palpatine with Mace Windu. This 2-pack looks incredible. It is a fall exclusive also. But yeah, that is pretty much everything they showed off. There was, they have other shows they're doing, so there wasn't as much, but I'm very excited for everything here. Looking forward to it. Anything that is available right now, the links will be in the description down below. And like I said, there wasn't a lot of vintage collection news when it came to the reveals, because the HasLab this year was the vintage collection HasLab Gunship, also known as the LAAT, and it is available for backing right now. It is a bit pricey at about $450 or so. And the 3 unlocked tiers are 3 Jedi Generals that you can get to put in with this. This is supposed to be part of the Geonosis, but it has interchangeable pieces to be more than just, the Geonosis set. It has different Jedi Generals, decals and stuff you could swap out, but really cool. Definitely not for me, because with gunships you'd want more than one, and I can't bring myself to spend more than $450 or like $450 times 3 or 2 and stuff like that. And it's just kind of crazy, but it is a cool HasLab, and if you're a vintage collection primarily collector, this one is for you, especially if you like the Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars era, which is really cool. And the 3 Jedi are part of the Jedi Council, so they got you there when it comes to wanting to get those characters. So if you want to back it, link is in the description down below. And this is just a real quick news update on something we don't have a lot of information about, except for the following. Hasbro got the rights. Makes sense because they have Marvel and Star Wars, but they got the rights to do Tron figures. So a while back when Tron Legacy came out, Spin Master made it. I think before that it was either Amigo or Remco or someone else. I can't even remember, for the 80s line. But now they are going to be made by Hasbro. So Hasbro, Mr. Steve, who works on the Star Wars and Marvel side of things, I call him the bridge between Disney and Marvel and the fans. in Star Wars and stuff like that. So like he really works hard on making sure that the fans are heard, and that, you know, he does a lot with the, you know, working with everyone. He was giving out floppy disks, little small micro disks that said Tron on it. Apparently we are going to be getting the Tron toy line. It is going to be Tron and Tron Legacy. Nothing about Tron Erase yet, but I'm sure we'll get something about that. But I'm very excited to see if they do 3-inch and 6-inch, just 6-inch, role play stuff, what they're going to do. But I'm very excited about it. And in some Mattel toy news, mostly Masters of the Universe and company, there was some cool Jurassic Park stuff on display. A couple like small reveals, but they were really focused on Masters of the Universe. I feel like this Comic-Con kind of pushing that because they have the movie coming out. They want to get the momentum behind it. They did not show off anything for the movie. As far as I know, I was at the panel that you've had to win the lottery to do, and you got a cool foam sword from Masters of the Universe, the movie, which has the date for the movie coming out. Really cool and sturdy, you know. They had us all hold it up at the end of the panel and say, "We have the power." But when it comes to toy news, first off, I freaked out like a little school kid when they showed off the newly announced Masters of the Universe X Transformers. It was Skeletor's Megatron, Man-at-Arms as Bumblebee, which means we're probably going to get Optimus as He-Man. I just really hope they give him the Energon Axe and don't try to mix the Energon Axe and the Power Sword together. I hope they give him an Energon Axe, an Autobot symbol shield, and maybe for the Sword of Power, have it be the Star Saber mixed in with the Sword of Power. That way it still has He-Man side of things, but it also gives a very Transformers flavor to it. Still trying to figure out how blonde He-Man hair and Optimus's blue helmet are going to combine. I have a feeling they might do like alternate heads where it's an Optimus Prime armored helmet kind of thing, and then an interchangeable head where it has like blonde hair for He-Man and stuff like that, with maybe a different, you know, face deco to be different than other He-Mans. But I'm really curious who Starscream's gonna be, because I think Starscream would work well with, I don't know, I feel like they're gonna have Trapjaw be Shockwave, since they have, you know, hands that are similar to laser guns. I really am curious to see who Roboto will be on the He-Man side of things, but as far as we know, it's just this Bumblebee and Megatron, but they did say they're doing more. That Transformers and Hasbro is working really close with Masters of the Universe and Mattel, and then they're also doing the Hot Wheels stuff, which is really cool. But then we also got to look at the revamped Snake Layer that they showed off last Comic-Con. They revamped it, did it again. They're doing it like before, where it's going to be a Kickstarter thing. I think they said it was going to be $330. Still a little rich, but it will fit in line with the rest of the castles. It won't be this big, amazing thing like they originally showed. Because I think the original one looked more like, you know, the Eternia playset more than Castle Grayskull or the other like layers that we've gotten that are kind of like the fold-out retro ones. But it looked really cool. They showed us each of the tiers. There's going to be the Snake Lady character, I can't remember, and the Snake Priest, still can't remember their name either. But the thing that really got me was the cool two-headed snake mount. That was awesome. We also got to see, not shown here, but they're going to do a 40th anniversary She-Ra with her mount, with like really cool translucent blonde hair. It just looks really awesome. I did ask the question of, are you guys going to send one to the original voice actress? Because I know that the doll came out and she had to try to get it, and she was not prepared for how fast it sold out, and then fans sent her one, and when they did a rerun of it, they sent her one. So I said, I don't mean to bring up a sore subject, but are you going to send her one? That way she could kind of like talk about it, maybe do some kind of promotional thing on her socials with you guys. And they said they are definitely looking into it, because we don't want to have the same situation as last time, which is really cool. Good job on you, Mattel. I really appreciate seeing companies, you know, notice things and take note of it and kind of improve on that. But also, last but not least, they had a lot of Revelations and Origins stuff to show off, and they are doing a whole Origins line of 2000X He-Man. So I grew up with 2000X, loved the old figures, even though they were limited articulation. These are going to be in the Origins scale, so you can have them kind of next to your Origins Animation Classic or Classic Origins. Really cool looking. I'm really excited for that Roboto. But yeah, that is everything at Mattel. Like I said, it was a lot of He-Man. and Masters of the Universe more than everything else. I think they had a couple of things for wrestling, a couple of things for other stuff, but just really cool stuff. And we've talked about it here before on the channel, but the Fresh Monkey Fiction Big Bad Workshop and their other partners had a booth at Comic-Con, so they showed off the Chadsworth Bigfoot with the Gatling gun, all the other stuff we got to see in person finally, including the Sky Captain of the World Tomorrow, which we're very excited about. And then finally we got to see a look at the Edgar Allan Poe that will be part of their new figure line that I'm very excited about. And just all kinds of other cool stuff they showed off. They had some of their other figures that are already out on display, like the Monster Force stuff and the Tick stuff. So really cool stuff coming out of Big Bad Workshop during Comic-Con. And it's some not official product. Not Captain Planet figure is being made by a company. I think it's called Descend. I can't say it off the top of my head, but it is a, you know, kind of like third-party Transformers or, you know, SH Figure Art third parties. This is kind of the same thing. You can actually find them at that, the link is in the description below for this character. It's only $40. You can do an $8 deposit right now, and then plus shipping, it's probably going to be about $50. But it is a really incredible figure. Best I could compare it to, from the looks of it, is like a maybe an SH Figure Arts Mayfix kind of level. It's not your Marvel Legends or, you know, G.I. Joe Classified kind of body sculpt, but it is 1/12 scale. It looks incredible. I've been wanting a Captain Planet figure for a while, but no one is officially making one right now. And I think that's because there might be some, you know, licensing things. Plus, I think they are talking about making either a movie or TV series soon. So they're probably waiting to do a merchandise deal with someone when that time comes. Plus, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of funny to have a plastic action figure of a character who's about, you know, saving the environment and cutting back on, you know, plastics and oil farming and deforestation, and then you've got, you know, a plastic figure of the character. But it is still something I've always wanted. I mean, they did do a figure line back in the day for the cartoon, so this is really cool looking. Love the articulation. I might try to pick it up myself. I've never worked when it comes to like buying on this website, but I've heard great things from other friends, so I might buy this because it doesn't seem too expensive. Plus there's some other things on that website I've been kind of interested in, so if I can lump them together and get a better deal on shipping, I might. But it's just really cool that they have this, and I hope sooner or later we might get a more official one in the future, but for now this is a great figure. And in McFarlane Toy News, we have a look at quite a few things that were shown off both at Comic-Con and online. First up, the Deathstroke wave with Mirror Man and the other character went live for pre-order. Link is in the description down below. We also got to look at a bunch of new superhero friends, including Superman, Flash, Captain Cold, Puppet Master, Toy Maker, and the cat character I forget off the top of my head. We also got a black and white Superman from Hush, and just all kinds of other cool things coming out of McFarlane. We also got to look at some of the other things that are coming out when it comes to the Marvel statues stuff, including information about Marvel Rivals statues that will be coming out soon. And while I was at Comic-Con, I got the opportunity to stop by the NECA booth and check out the new Sesame Street figures that were revealed. Both of them are blue Muppets. First up is, of course, the one I'm most excited about, Grover. As far as I know, there were no accessories that I saw at the time that make him Super Grover, so I have a feeling they might re-release Grover as Super Grover down the road. And then I think it's Mr. Man, or I can't remember his name, but he's the one who him and Grover kind of go back and forth in some of the skits from Sesame Street. So they're both going to be coming out. These, of course, will probably be a while out because we're still waiting for Oscar, Big Bert, and I believe one other character to come out, and those were all announced before these two. So they're definitely ahead of the curve when it comes to announcements, but we're still trying to catch up. I know I talked to one of the reps who said the process of doing this is like any licensing kind of deal. They have to go to Sesame Street, talk with Sesame Street about, you know, is this okay that we do this? Does this look good? Do you prefer us to do this over that? So they're working with Sesame Street on that side of things, making sure they get it really accurate and really to the point of what the character should look like, and, you know, the textures and stuff. Then they have to go to their factories, and they have to talk with the factories about, can we get this fur texture in plastic form? Can we get this accessory that really, you know, is attached to the character through these skits on Muppet, on Sesame Street? and work around it and everything like that. So it is a bit of a process. So like any toy company and any product, it takes a while, but I'm very excited for it. I also got to see the Friday the 13th Jason that looks like Ghost Rider kind of from the video game in person. They said that there will be more news on it later on. And then of course I got to check out something I'm very excited about as a Garfield fan and a TMNT fan. They are going to be making a NECA Garfield / Turtles figure. This is really cool. They had a plush a while back at the Target Geek Out that I thought was really cool, and I went, it's cool, but plushes take up more space. This won't take up as much space and could fit in with your action figures, so I'm very excited about that. And then we also got to look at a lot of other amazing NECA items. I took a couple of photos. I didn't stay around each, I think I stayed more at the Hasbro booth more than anything, but I did try to make my time around NECA and all the other companies. And for me, it was really the Sesame Street that drew me in. The Garfield was just a bonus that I didn't know they were doing, so it was cool to see that there. And then, of course, they're re-releasing their movie Turtles again, so really awesome stuff coming out of NECA. And everyone has had a swing at him now. The Superman movie, Superman, from the new James Gunn Superman, has had a McFarlane toy version, I believe a NECA toy version. He's had his mainline toys for kids. Now Mezco Toys is doing a 1/12 scale version with soft goods. They're throwing in crypto, lots of accessories, base. It is available now. Link is in the description down below if you want to pick it up and add on to your Superman collection from this awesome Superman movie. And real fast, just to cover some brand things that are cool. Fanta Soda will be doing a collab with Universal Pictures from August 25th, I believe it is, to November 2nd to celebrate their horror Halloween characters, including Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear, Michael Myers, and Chucky, which looks really cool. I'm very excited for this, and I wanted to cover it real fast. And in comics this week we think look incredible. First up is Mega Man X Timelines #1. I just got done reading Mega Man Timelines #1, and it was incredible, so I'm looking forward to this one. Next up we have California Love, and it takes place in California, and it's in the DC universe with Superman and his super family, and they do different little adventures around California, from the Redwoods to San Francisco to LA. Looks really fun. And then next up we have Mad Cave's Speed Racer #1, which looks really cool. I love the art style. Looking forward to this one. And then finally we have Marvel Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six #1, which looks really cool. I like this version of the Sinister Six. I like that we got, Venom and Kingpin and Doc Ock, but we also have, I think that's Titania, which is a She-Hulk villain from the Secret Wars, and some other characters that, I don't usually see fighting Spider-Man as much, or let alone in the Sinister Six, but I mean, the Sinister Six is more like the Sinister 100 at this point, and Spider-Man has fought with pretty much everyone, so it's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. But those are the comics this week I think look incredible. Like always, stop at your local comic shop, see what's new, pick up what's in your saver, and just have a wonderful time. And in our creative corner this week, we have a look at an amazing toy customizer that looks like they just might have started on Instagram recently. It is that of @marvelouskode on Instagram, and their work is incredible. They are doing a lot of Marvel Rivals, Marvel Legends figures, custom made, and they're really awesome. So first up, I have an image here of the Fantastic Four figures, which look really incredible in the thing and like its pre-painted state. Definitely go to their page to see the finished one. You can see it on the corner of the Instagram thumbnail of their page, but go check it out because the finished product, they even put it in a really awesome case. It looks incredible. We also have an amazing looking Groot, which I really like, and I'd like to see how they did that one because it's really cool looking. And then a really cool Venom that I don't know if it's from Marvel Rivals or if it's just their own original costume they made for it, but really incredible looking, really awesome work. And they definitely need to get more followers, more likes, more shares, so definitely go check them out if you are a Marvel fan, Marvel Legends, Marvel Rivals. There's some other stuff there that's not just Marvel, but just really awesome stuff. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. If you're feeling generous, share it. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye.